Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sacramento NAACP. Good morning, Apapa, OCA.
Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking time out of your busy lunch hour to join us as we rally to rescind the new UC admissions policy. My name is Ken Avelino and I am the president of the Coalition for Education and Equality. We are humbled and honored to speak in front of all of you. When my family first migrated to the United States, we had nothing but grand dreams to live in the greatest country on earth. I remember my mother taking us to the Berryessa flea market. She said this was a free market, so my 5 siblings and I, we picked which bikes we wanted, and we put it in the car. While my mother was driving back, she said, "What is that? You said it was free." "No, flea, free, like the insect that bites you." So that was our first experience in the United States. We dropped all the bikes in front of the flea market and left. But we soon learned, but today, we still live on the greatest country on earth, and it is up to us to continue to make this country great. That is why we must announce to you that the University of California, the preeminent public university in the world, has an unfair and unconstitutional new admissions policy that will significantly affect minorities and the poor. First, there was no transparency. 1 year ago, the University of California approved a new admissions policy on February 5th, 2009. This was the first major new admissions policy since 1960, or 49 years ago. The problem is that they didn't tell the public, they didn't tell us, they didn't tell the stakeholders. Even 2 days before, 11 state legislators demanded that they not delay and postpone their decision. However, they still approved it. So if this is so great, why must they hide this new policy in a shroud of secrecy? Second, why is this policy unfair and unconstitutional? It will make the student body less diverse. We call all of you today with great urgency because under the new admissions policy, African American students are projected to decline by 27% according to the November 2009 study, and by 23% according to the December 16th, 2009 study. Asian Pacific Americans are projected to decline by 24% according to the February 2009 study, and 11% by the December 16, 2009 study. In addition, the Hispanic and Latino American students are projected to be referred and transferred to UC Merced by more than 60%. In short, this policy is unfair. It's really a reverse diversification or reverse affirmative action or affirmative action for the wealthy and the white students. Third, the new admissions policy discriminates against all minorities living in poor neighborhoods. In May of 2008, the UC Regents minutes stated, Mr. Brown stated, I quote, "Only 16% of underrepresented minorities complete the university breadth requirements." He further states, "Some California high schools offer students virtually no chance of being admitted." And Mr. Rescind stated there's a dichotomy between the well-resourced high schools and the schools that have not. The new policy will make it even more difficult. Beginning 2012, students will have to complete 11 out of 15 of the AP through G honors courses. The reality is that with the recent budget cuts, many high schools in low-income and rural neighborhoods no longer offer all the courses. Thus, they won't even be admitted to the University of California. And fourth, the new admissions policy, their data is suspect. They first produced a study in February 2009. Then, I guess they didn't like the results. So, in October, they produced another study. Again, it hurt minorities. So they decided to change it again. In November, they didn't like it again. They changed it again in December. And just a few days ago on January 28th, now they figured the best way to do this is, if they don't like the result, Start with the result that you like and work backwards. That is the UC and their new data. The new UC admissions policy is also unconstitutional. First and foremost, we are American citizens. Under the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, U.S. citizens, all persons born or naturalized in the United States, are United States citizens. President Barack Obama, his father was born in Kenya, and he traveled to the United States. While living in the United States, his son was born in Hawaii. President Obama was offered all the due process and equal protections of the law. Today, he is the President of the United States, the first minority president. Woo! The new admissions policy is also not narrowly tailored. We cannot say that every major in the University of California is impacted by Asian Americans, African Americans, or Hispanic Americans. Therefore, it is blatantly unconstitutional. Unfortunately, some of you are still not convinced, but let me just read words of a 16-year-old girl. She wrote in her essay, she stated, "In a time when we must be proud of our heritage, we will only see our background as a burden and barrier." Doesn't that just break your heart? In conclusion, we live in the greatest nation on earth. Our founding fathers stated in the Declaration of Independence that we in the United States are all created equal. Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Supreme Court Justice Marshall, and many others have fought for our rights and our independence. Today we have the first African American president. We embrace gay and lesbian marriages, and we are truly a diverse nation. Our country is not just a democracy, but a constitutional democracy designed to express not only the will of the majority, but simultaneously protect the rights of minorities and the powerless, which are our children. Today, we are afforded and guaranteed basic civil rights. We cannot stand still, and we cannot stand pat. We must no longer stand quiet, and we must unite with the enthusiasm, the force, the hope, and the determination to overturn any unfair and poorly planned education policy in the United States of America. Yeah. Woo! Thank you. Today, fellow Americans, we have a rendezvous with history. Our action today will not only be remembered as a victory, but our deepest and most sincere conviction to better our children with education. With the united effort, we will make history by improving the rights for all minorities and fair education, regardless of race. But it all begins with education, the foundation of success. My name is Ken Avelino, and I proudly represent the minorities in the Coalition of Education and Equality. Thank you very much. God bless America, and let's all rescind the policy. Rescind the policy. Yeah.